The water here in Clark County has receded, but it is still going to take quite some time to clean up the flood damage here. Coming up, we're talking with waterlogged residents about the cleanup.
The University of Kentucky Athletics is taking over here at the University of Kentucky Children's Hospital. We'll show you how coming up.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. The rain tapering off at this noon hour, but the latest round of showers and storms dumped good amounts of rain in parts of the bluegrass.
Caused some problems, high water issues in several areas last night, including Clark County. Flooded roads, a big concern there, even trapping some people in their homes. WKYT's Mark Barber has a look at the damage and the cleanup efforts, and that is our top story at noon. Mark?
What a difference 12 hours makes. The creek that flows along Old Boonesboro Road here is now calm once again. But those who live nearby are now taking a look at the damage left by yesterday's flash flooding.
It was just like somebody had turned on the bath water and was ready to take a bath. They were ready to take a big old bath in all this water that was down through here.
This was how Linway Drive looked yesterday. That's quite a dramatic difference from how it looks now. While the muddy floodwaters have receded, that soggy silver car is still sitting there.
They opened it up and the seats were wet and it was pretty wet inside.
Barbara Conkright was babysitting for the family who owns the car when the water started rising.
Everything was just going everywhere. There's branches, there's trees going everywhere. Rocks were even moved and everything out of the way.
She says their house does not have any water damage, but the water did slip into two of the family's garages. High water marks show the floodwaters were 2 feet deep at one point. The dangerous flash flood that threatened dozens of homes also scattered debris across the area.
There's a lot of brush that's still in the way, a lot of logs, big driftwood that has just drifted down as the water came rushing through yesterday.
While it will take a while to clean everything up, Conkright thinks everything will be back to normal in a couple days. In Clark County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. And flooding was also a problem in parts of southern Kentucky. A father and his 3-year-old daughter were rescued from high water in Pulaski County. They got stuck in their car while under a bridge on Norwood Mount Zion Road about 3 o'clock this morning. Fortunately, a state trooper was nearby and he carried the little girl to safety. He also helped the father make it to dry land.
Well, after all that rain the past few days, it looks like we're finally starting to dry out this midday. So how long before the rain returns? WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live in our First Alert Weather Center now with a look ahead.
Yeah, back toward the west and the central zones across 75. It's mainly dry. There's really not much to worry about the rest of the day. However, you get off toward the eastern zones, it's still slowly but surely trying to work its way on. Now, there are bits and pieces of some light showers flying south and southeast. So just keep that in mind that it's not going to be the best looking afternoon for you guys east and southeast, but it will taper off each and every single hour the deeper we get into the afternoon. There's just a little spin over there toward Martin County, and you could see that spinning at this moment right across the border of West Virginia and Kentucky. Around here, you know, I just stepped outside. I did see a little blue trying to peek on through. So for central and western zones west of I-75, you're going to get at least a little bit of sunshine here and there, maybe just peeking on through. But most of this is going to be east the rest of the day, and it's really nothing to worry about. It's just kind of ugly outside, very dreary for you guys over toward the east the rest of the afternoon. But like I said, it will taper off each and every single hour. But do we see that trend to continue, the drying trend? I'll have that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you shortly. Thank you. A central Kentucky man is accused of being involved in a sophisticated gambling ring out of California. The U.S. Attorney's Office arrested 14 men following a raid at the Lucky Lady Casino in San Diego. Jason Taylor of Madison County is accused of being a bookie for the illegal gambling ring. His indictment alleges that he took high-stakes bets and mailed illegal bookmaking proceeds. He was arrested last week in Richmond and is scheduled to appear in federal court in California tomorrow.
A busy central Kentucky road is back open this midday after a crash that injured 2 people. It happened on US 27 at Industry Road near Sam's Club in Jessamine County. Witnesses told police the crash may have been caused by someone running a red light. WKYT's Mike Byer is in Nicholasville with the latest on the investigation. Mike?
Nicholasville Road caused the northbound lanes to be shut down for over an hour this morning, causing major traffic delays.
For those people waiting, I know it had to be frustrating, but bear in mind that you know, these things happen, and unfortunately we don't want them to, but they do.
The northbound lanes were shut down for over an hour as crews worked the accident scene at Lexington Road and Industry Parkway. The southbound lanes also affected as traffic was backed up for miles. The accident happened shortly after 8 a.m. Police say witnesses told them a red truck traveling northbound on Lexington Road may have ran a red light and as a result slammed into a white passenger car that was turning left onto Industry Parkway. The only people involved were the two drivers. Police described their injuries as non-life-threatening, but they say the injuries the pickup driver received are considered serious. Both drivers were taken to UK Hospital. Meanwhile, this morning's accident wasn't the only problem emergency crews faced.
Right at the exact time that this traffic collision took place, a semi-truck pulling off of Bradley, which is one intersection down, got halfway in the road and his braking system locked up on him.
Now, as you can see behind me, traffic is moving along and all is back to normal here at Industry Parkway and Nicholasville Road. In Jessamine County, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Now, the northbound lanes didn't reopen until shortly after 9 o'clock this morning. Police say they're continuing to investigate the crash.
Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin is paying an out-of-state law firm $500,000 to investigate corruption in state government. The Herald-Leader reports the firm is specifically looking for possible violations of state spending rules and coercion of state workers for campaign donations. Bevin has accused his predecessor, former Governor Steve Beshear, of such violations. Beshear has denied any wrongdoing and himself has accused Bevin of violating campaign finance laws. U.S. News and World Report has ranked the University of Kentucky Albert B. Chandler Medical Center as the #1 hospital in the state. It is also the only hospital in Kentucky rated as high performing in its cancer care, and it's nationally ranked for its geriatric care. Baptist Health Lexington was ranked 3rd on the list of best hospitals in the state. Kentucky Children's Hospital is hoping to inspire patients and their families with a special UK-themed hallway they've put up. Head coach Mark Stoops helped unveil the Hall of Champions this morning.
Now, it features iconic images of UK athletes and coaches that progressed to a mural of Commonwealth Stadium. WKYT's Andrea Walker takes a look.
A $300,000 project aimed at inspiring Kentucky children and families came to fruition this afternoon here in Lexington. Head football coach Mark Stoops helped cut the ribbon on an inspirational UK-themed hallway at UK Children's Hospital. The wall features former UK wide receiver Randall Cobb, basketball legend Jamal Mashburn, Hall of Fame gymnast Jenny Hansen, and Coach Stoops himself.
I just hope it helps them in any small way. Like I said, if they're in here, they're going through some trying times for them and their family. And if they could walk by and get a little bit of inspiration from a mural or from just aesthetically what the hospital looks like and the comfort level of the hospital, that's what we're here for, to help in any small way we can.
This is just another example of UK Athletics' commitment to the community. Over the years, the UK football staff has helped raise more than $1.2 million to help improve the life of Kentucky children. In Lexington, Andrea Walker, WKYT.
And we'll have reaction from patients and families coming up on WKYT News at 4.
And keep it here on our noon news. With 10 more locally transmitted Zika cases reported in South Florida, health officials are now taking a closer look at how the virus is being transmitted and what can be done to stop it. The latest coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, there's one area where Donald Trump is guaranteed to beat Hillary Clinton this fall, and that's on the late-night talk show circuit. We'll explain next on WKYT.
Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. The CDC has issued a new advisory that says that pregnant women should not travel to the Zika transmission area in southeast Florida.
Florida Governor Rick Scott said there are 10 new infections of the Zika virus likely transmitted by mosquitoes, bringing the total in the state to 14. The new cases are clustered in the same neighborhood in the Miami-Dade County area identified last week. Health officials say intensive mosquito spraying is not working as well as they'd hoped. Now, Zika isn't the only problem plaguing Rio. Just days from the start of the Olympic Games, according to a 16-month-long study commissioned by the Associated Press, the waterways are contaminated with raw human sewage, along with dangerous viruses and bacteria. Not only are the athletes at risk of getting violently ill in water competitions, but the tests indicate that tourists also face potentially serious health risks on beaches. A survey of the aquatic Olympic venues revealed consistent and dangerously high levels of viruses from the pollution.
Well,
And
challenges.
it will be
Yeah.
here soon.
Yeah.
Well, President Barack Obama is challenging leading Republicans to repudiate Donald Trump. At a news conference this morning, the president said Trump is, quote, unfit and woefully unprepared to be president.
Meanwhile, Trump is still coming under fire for attacking the family of a U.S. Army captain killed in the line of duty. Craig Boswell now has the latest on Campaign 2016.
Donald Trump arrived in Virginia, a key battleground state in the presidential election.
Outside, we have like thousands of people. They're going crazy because they can't get in.
Trump is stepping up his criticism of Hillary Clinton, calling her the devil during a rally Monday. It comes as he's still being denounced for attacking the family of a U.S. soldier killed in action in Iraq.
I mean, is there no limit to which this guy will descend? And he wants to be commander-in-chief?
But Trump refuses to apologize or back down.
Horrible things were said about me. I think it was, frankly, very tough. So all I did is respond, and I will always respond.
Trump supporters here are still giving him their enthusiastic support, but now we're seeing the first Republicans saying they will not vote for Trump because of his criticism of the Khan family. Richard Hanna is now the first Republican congressman to say he'll vote for Hillary Clinton. He wrote, "For me, it is not enough to simply denounce his comments. He is unfit to serve our party and cannot lead the country." Campaigning with Hillary Clinton in Omaha, billionaire Warren Buffett said Trump should release his tax returns.
You're only afraid if you got something to be afraid about.
Clinton now has an 8-point lead in the latest national poll. It was a 1-point lead a week ago. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Ashburn, Virginia.
And with polls now showing him trailing, Donald Trump said that he is concerned that this year's election will be rigged. No matter how the 2016 presidential election eventually turns out, one outcome is sure: Donald Trump will likely beat Hillary Clinton by a landslide when it comes to being the target of jokes by late-night comics. The Center for Media and Public Affairs at George Mason University says in every election since 1992, Republicans were mocked more often by comedians than the Democratic candidate, although Bill Clinton was the most joked about politician over the last quarter of a century. It's important to note that many celebrities are considered progressive or liberal and more likely to criticize a Republican.
After nearly 2 years of construction and development, the playground at Jacobson Park is back open again.
And we have some rain still out and about early this afternoon. Once we travel through your day, it looks like those will continue to fade away, but where does the trend go from there? I'll have that in your forecast coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We are looking at still a couple of showers over toward the eastern zones. It's not much, but it's still there. It's more of a nuisance than anything else, just some scattered showers here and there. So that's about it for your day the rest of the day, because it starts to fade away as we go through time. So for the most part, I don't see much of an issue whatsoever. It's just one of those times that you're trying to plan some things and get outside and you just can't do it. Here's the deal, though. You can get the kids outside, go play in the rain a little bit. The reason why I say that is because you're not expecting any thunder out of this, or any lightning, that is. So this is just some showers passing on through. If you're over toward eastern Kentucky, look at the spin right there in Martin County. There it is. And it's just wrapping that moisture right around and traveling eastbound. It'll take it on out of here, but it's just going to take some time. London, 80 degrees. Actually looks pretty good in London. We're getting some peaks of sunshine. Jackson does not look good. It's just passing showers here and there. Frankfurt, we are done with the rain. Maybe a little drizzle, but for the most part, we're good. And that goes for Lexington, too. We're at 77 degrees here in Lexington as we'll finish off there in the mid-80s. So let's talk about the rest of the afternoon. Let's take you through hour by hour and see little specks here and there, just those popcorn showers popping up. And rolling on south and southeast. Like I said, there's not much to it and nothing to really worry about. And then that fades away as we head throughout your 5 to about 8 p.m. time frame southeast. You guys trying to go out to eat, trying to grill out later on this afternoon and evening. I don't see any problems whatsoever and walks around the neighborhood. Should be pretty good there during the evening hours. Actually feel quite nice too. With all the clouds laying around, you guys more than likely will actually stay in the upper 70s, lower 80s by the time it's all said and done. Okay, so people have been asking me, is this the wettest summer of all time? I mean, I feel like we've had shower, thunderstorm one after another for the past several weeks, and it's been pretty wet, don't get me wrong, but so far this summer, remember, we have 1 month left. So far, 12.61 inches here in Lexington, maybe a little bit higher in some spots. I say maybe. It is higher in some spots, but officially reading 12.61 inches. The wettest summer of all time is 23.2 inches. So we're about half the way. Yeah, we got a long ways to go. Yesterday, we actually reached a record of 3.07 inches in Lexington at Bluegrass Airport. The highest on a 24-hour day is 8 inches. So, yeah, we were a little far off from that one, too. But nonetheless, I mean, this has been a lot of rain. Next couple of days, starting to dry out just a bit. Can't rule out a small chance of rain there on Thursday and Friday. But tomorrow actually looks mainly dry, so we can get out and knock some things out. Maybe some yard work, because all this grass is growing really lush outside.
Well, that 8-inch ring, was that about 1932?
That was 32.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, 32.
No wonder you'd forgotten that one, Bill.
Right. Remember that.
Been around a while. No. Today, anyway. We talked about it earlier this morning. We're coming back in a moment. A Wildcat hero is closing in on a decade of NFL greatness.
And John Calipari's deep threat is making a big impression on everyone. Dave Baker's next with sports.
As we head to break, let's check stocks. Major market indicators down at midday.
This is the final day of John Calipari's UK Pro Camp, and that means all of Coach Cal's stars are coming back to campus, including the fella who's more impressive every time he steps on the court, Jamal Murray. The lottery pick was consistently impressive in the Summer League for Denver, scoring 29 against the Heat, 29 against Phoenix. But that game against the Suns ended the Summer League play for the Nuggets as, guess who? Tyler Ulis hit the game-winning shot in overtime.
It was fun, because I was playing point guard as well. You know, he had a big shot. I was disappointed, but I was happy and proud at the same time. You know, it was a tough loss, but no, happy to see him do well.
Did you say anything to him after that game? Because you thought you had no game winners.
I just told him I didn't like him. I just told him I didn't like him.
Speaking of former Cats, final exhibition game for the USA men's Olympic team in DeMarcus Cousins taking on Nigeria in Houston. How about that nice up and under by Cousins in the lane? He had 10 points, 5 boards. And then it's Cousins again. Like Bill Bryant, he says the difference in his game has been hot yoga. Pass, dribbles in, finds DeMar DeRozan open, and DeRozan goes baseline for the slam. The United States in complete control. In the third, how about a lob from like about 50 feet away? Kyle Lowry to DeAndre Jordan, 110-66 the final. Next stop is Rio and the Olympics. And today, we're 32 days away from Wildcat kickoff, and as we stop to mark the passage of time, can you believe, are you like me, can you believe that Wesley Woodyard is entering his 9th year in the NFL? This will be his 3rd season with the Tennessee Titans. Former Wildcat Avery Williamson is with him on the Titans defense. Under Coach Mike Mularkey, Tennessee's coming off a 3-win season and hopeful of making a move up. In Nashville, the Predators are known for hitting hard, and that's what the Titans are going to have to do on defense.
Absolutely. You know, everybody wants to take the physicality out of football, but to me, in order to be a dominant defense, you have to play smash mouth. And, you know, this whole season we got a chance to watch the Predators play, and that's something that Coach Mularkey really loved. And I think that's the attitude. If you want to be successful and get in the playoffs, that's the attitude and the approach you need to have.
Tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, former football Wildcat Max Godby looks ahead to summer camp, and our own Brian Milam with a preview of the high school football season that is right around the corner. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. Guys, that's a look at sports on your Tuesday.
All right, and you are right. Football season just coming up right now.
Almost here. There's more to come in the next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
Children have a new place to enjoy the outdoors in Lexington. We're going to show you the city's newest playground.
I'm in Whitley County, where a woman charged with murder after state police say she hit 2 pedestrians is set to have her preliminary hearing. Coming up at 12:30, you'll hear from one of the people who was injured.
Today's Mega Millions jackpot is $25 million, and tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is $40 million.